Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? We got 276 already in chat. I've had some questions pop up. I do want to address immediately. What is going on? Of course, Knox is going to come over. We're going to kill the music real quick. Knox has to come over and say hi. The second I start talking, you want to say hi to everybody? Speak. Good boy. That's a good boy. I love you, but your breath smells like an anus. It's probably your anus. Did you just fart? Love you, bud. Go on. All right, what is going on, everybody? So yeah, Rain's just chilling over there. She's just licking. The first question, and people, of course, I'm going to address this. I'm a little behind. I was working on your guys' USA versus the world video. I'm working on the next one right now. The recording was 47 minutes long. I've gotten it down to 35. So I still have a lot of editing left to do. Got home early, so watching in the shower. Hey, you know what? Don't drop the soap. It may be your own shower, but yeah. So first question that I had that I saw pop up is about the S-400. Well, the people were talking about the S-400, that it fired 6 missiles. So, you know, I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I always want to give them like, hey, you know, maybe this isn't an S-400. So when I saw it originally, it looked like they were all just regular launches, so the S-400, like the S-300, has cold gas generator launches, which means the missile fires out and then the rocket motor kicks on and boom, it takes off. When I looked at the video the first time, it didn't look like that's what was happening. I was like, this may not be an S-400. So if you look at the video, they cut it in a weird spot. So you see the first one fire, and it is a cold gas generator launch. You see it come out, and then the rocket motor kicks on after it comes out. So the rocket motor kicks on above the launcher. So definitely a cold gas generator launch. And then they cut the video in a weird spot, and it like is after the launch. So the rest of them don't look like cold gas generator launch. So it's a little weird. But yes, that is an S-400. Dog treats before we buy Knox a whole turkey to eat. All right, we'll get some dog treats. All right, Skynet F-16s. So it's interesting you say that. Come on up, Knox. There you go. That's a good boy. Here, you get 2 of them because they're little. Rain gets 2 of them as well. Stop digging your claws into my leg, please. I love you so much, but your claws, they're rough, bud. So the S-404 error, yep. Protocol 4 late call. Brother, hey brother, been in a conversation with your sister? I'm sorry you were in a conversation with my sister. No, so it's all right, mods. We're good. Big ass Russian EWR site got schwacked. One of the strategic kind. Oh, really? I was not aware of that. I've been so busy today. I was like, fuck it, and I went fishing this morning. Caught 10 bass, by the way, kind of a big deal. And then, so somebody in here was like, hey, from Poland. I saw that. I'm trying to catch as many of these as I can, guys. So from Poland, thank you so much for being here. Also, it was Daddy Rob who just gave both those donations. I didn't even realize that. Thank you, Daddy Rob. And so it's interesting. So we had a student come through very recently that was from Lithuania. And I had met a couple other students that had come through. They were like, hey, you know, love your videos. It's not unheard of. It's not uncommon for that to happen. So I'm like, hey, you know, it's great to meet you guys. So, like, I want you to know I will match your energy whenever you meet me. Because I can only imagine, like, meeting somebody that it's weird to think you guys look up to me or excited to meet me. But if I was, like, excited, like, let's say I met The Rock or something, and I was excited, and he was just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, I would feel kind of hollow, right? And so... you know, he was excited to meet me. And then from Lithuania, he was like, hey, we love your videos. I'm going to try and do his accent. Let me see. Hey, we love your videos. And I was like, you guys watch my videos in Lithuania? He's like, oh, yes. I know you like Poland. We share them all over. And I was like, that is so fucking cool. Like, I wanted to take pictures with him. Little European Texas. Howdy from Middle Tennessee. What is going on? So, yeah, it was super cool, man. It's interesting. Ain't no sway in them. Thoughts on civvies knowing general knowledge on weapon systems and acting like they know everything about them. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's friendly or enemy. I go into everything with a little bit of apprehension. Like, okay, even if I want this to be the truth, let's try and prove myself wrong. And it's okay if civilians want to learn. I don't know everything about everything. Very recently, the last country video that I made, I fucked up. I looked at the Georgia law in a very positive light, and I was incorrect in that. Which is why, if you guys go back to that video, I have a pinned comment at the top, which is somebody telling me why I was wrong. They were explaining why I was incorrect in my assumption, and I want you to know that I'm going to be transparent if I fuck up. So I pinned his comment to the top, and my response to it was, "Hey man, I didn't know. I was unaware, in my research that I had done, and it's okay. It's okay to be wrong." And I always want to give you guys the most honest answers that I possibly can. So that's what I would say. There was a dono that came through. Strigon Kid, do you see Lockheed announced the Navy's going to start quad loading Pack 3s? Yes, into VLS. Yep. So for those of you who are not aware, so a Pack 3 Patriot Advanced Capability version 3, it was actually the MSE, the Missile Segment Enhancement version, which is our newest missile. The MSE missile is just designed to bridge the gap between THAAD and Patriot. I can't tell you what the gap was, but THAAD could only shoot so low, Patriot could only shoot so high. There was a gap. So they designed the MSE missile to close that gap. And now, so originally, this is like 6 months ago, they fired Pack 3 MSEs off of a Aegis Ashore. Now, as of recently, like a couple days ago, actually like a week ago, they had fired them out of the vertical launch system on board the Aegis. Now, I'm, again, apprehensive when I look at this because I don't know what those Pack 3s bring to the fight that they can't already hit with a Standard Missile 1 or a Standard Missile 6. Now, I know that those things far outreach, or the SM3s far outreach the MSE, so like that's not even, like, those are completely different fights there. But I don't know what that brings to it. I gotta reach out to some of my Aegis friends and try and get any of the information I can. Did I get any of those nasty storms last night? Absolutely. Absolutely. So what I did, hold on. Oh, I think I missed a couple of, no, I didn't. All right. Yeah, edge me on those Skynet F-16s. I was wondering if a skit was coming. I'm sorry. Like, it's cool. I think that using AI is going to be important, but I don't think we should ever let AI make lethal decisions. It should make lethal recommendations. That's my thought process on it. Second live stream I ended on. I can throw a few bucks in. That's what I'm doing, keeping you, man. Hey, you know what? I appreciate it, Cabby. I really do. Originally when I started doing these live streams, I felt really awkward when people would donate. I felt like, because I was like, I didn't do anything for it. But luckily, like Eli Double Tap, good friend of mine, he was like, hey man, you can't look at it like that. You're providing them with a service. You're making people happy. You're making them laugh. You're informing them. So like, and you do put a lot of work into that. So when the donations come through, now I'm just overly thankful. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a penny, $100, doesn't matter what it is. I'm always thankful. So I really appreciate you guys, all of you. Hit the like button for HLC. Thank you, Hail to the King. You need to update your Iran video -1 helicopter. Well, from what I'm tracking, it wasn't an Iranian helicopter. It was an Azerbaijani helicopter. So, technically, I don't know. It's funny, though. You upload that video, it happened. No president remains found. They didn't find any? I thought they did. With this China content, we got to feel like the kid J20s. He'll be having a field day. Aren't they upgrading the F-22? Yes, I just found out about that. The Lockheed Martin has gotten the contract to take F-22s and pretty much give them the computing power and systems, like electronics, of an F-35, which to me tickles me so much that they're just like, we're going to get rid of it. And then they're like, hold on. What if we make it smarter? Like, that's, God bless America. To answer your video title, yes, absolutely, you should stream video games again. I should. That's what I wanted to ask you guys, is I really want to know, like, I love talking to y'all, but do you guys want to see me play? So very recently, if you guys go to Rotten Reaper Gaming, R-O-T-N Reaper, he's a friend of mine. We've served together. He's my old fishing buddy. I played some Gray Zone Warfare with him this, one match of Gray Zone Warfare with him, because I had a little bit of time this week, and he recorded it, and it's pretty fucking funny. I was watching the video. It's very funny. Russia may have recently lost their last missile vessel in the Black Sea. Ukraine is trying to confirm. I heard about that. That they lost one of their prized missile destroyers, I guess. I don't know the exact name of it. Does the Russian S-300 or 400 have an advantage of using 3 different radars, low, mid, and high power band rate? Actually, yes and no. How do I word this? This is a really hard question to answer. There are advantages and disadvantages. The advantage being you can now spread out the power, the workload. Every radar, the main component that reduces its capability is power. Patriot itself uses two 150 kilowatt generators. They're big old Cummins engines. And by the way, whoever at Raytheon decided to make them things air cooled, I hope you stub your toe every day for the rest of your fucking life. Yeah, let's send the air cooled engines to the hottest environment known to man. I hate you. But anyways, and they pump out a lot of voltage. 208 volts, three phase, 400 hertz. So, but we use one radar. And we're always trying to avoid busting radar resources, because you can only see so much, you can only, interrogate so much. There's only so many resources that radar can use. When you have 3 radars, you're able to delineate the amount of power required to do those individual tasks, which is good. Like there's a benefit there. The drawback you have to something like that is that they now have to pass tracks and information between one another. Well, a radar is not a radar is not a radar. A high, mid, and low frequency. Low frequency is capable of detecting any stealth aircraft. Any. Like low frequency, you can detect any stealth aircraft. It is impossible to be stealth for a low frequency radar. The drawback to that is the mid and high can't detect those. So the low is trying to pass the target that it identifies to the medium and high. When you're like, well, why can't they just shoot off the low? The low doesn't have the track fidelity and information about that object to give you a firing solution. So you can see it as it comes and kills you. That's the drawback of something like that. Also, you have larger major end items, you have more components. So there's benefit and cost. But I think we've seen that the cost is pretty damn high. I saw that ATACM shot. That was beautiful. That was wonderful. Super chat, Mrs. Linecrosser is like, you need to hurry up. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. Relative to 52nd Special Ammo Supply, Davy Crockett, 101st Airborne, 6465 deploy Rock Fort Camp. Oh, you went to the Rock. They said check Fort Sill. Who call email at Sill? Hold on. "101st Airborne, 6465, deploy to the Republic of Korea. Fort Campbell claims nothing, they say. Check Fort Sill." I'm very confused because the 101st Airborne, I don't believe, has ever been at Fort Sill. 101st is it Campbell? Because 82nd is fucking Moore now. It used to be, or no, Liberty. It used to be Bragg. I don't know how to answer that question, El Tejon. I would just go to the Fort Sill webpage and find there's got to be somebody in there to call. I have no idea. I'm so sorry. You would love a 30-minute HLC special. Well, we're working on it. We're getting there. Raise hell, praise Daniel. Oh, that Kobe line was perfect. Where did I get the idea? I actually got the idea from Dr. Kozak, one of my mods. He texted me that morning. He's like, you have to work a Kobe joke in. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I woke up to that text, so I didn't even have a chance to think about it. Star Wars world, can an X-Wing fighter detect an F-22 or 35? That's a wonderful question. That is... I don't know how to answer that. I would really... Is there enough information out there about the detection capability of an X-Wing fighter for me to get that? I don't know. I know that one could theoretically outperform an F-22 because it can go higher, and you could always just run away. So I don't know. That's a wonderful question, Rob. I'm so sorry. What is up with the Universal Missile System project? Blue Jay, I'm not familiar with the Universal Missile System. I'm so sorry. I wish I had a better answer for you. I'm going to put it in my notes. Where's my pen? I need a new notepad. Or a new page. I'm shaking my whole desk. I will try and get you an answer on that. I can't guarantee anything. Are units getting sent back to Iraq? By the way, love your content. And hi from Texas. Yeah. Well, I mean, we never really 100% left. But there's a lot of units going back to Iraq. I know that they now have one Patriot unit over there now too. So I don't know who's manning it right now. That was set up after there was a camp somewhere that got rocketed, and I can't remember where the hell it was, but this was before the most recent one, and they put Patriot there, and since then they haven't had any issues. The missus introduced me to you. Aw, love the content and entertainment. Just wanted to say goodbye for her. Pour one out. What? No shit. I'm so sorry. I don't have any drink to... Dude, that... I am so sorry, Ashura Sky. That is awful. That sound... I'm so sorry, man. Like, that... A goodbye isn't forever. So, I don't know what's after this life. I'm not a super religious person, but I genuinely hope that there's a few people waiting for me. Like, that's part of the reason that I do what I do. Because I have lost friends, and my friends never... I'm not saying that's at all comparable to your missus. I can't even imagine what that's like. But I do hope that someday they're waiting for me at the pearly gates, and they're proud of me. Proud of what I've done with my life. So, that's... Dude, that's getting me all emotional. Like, fuck, man. You're good, though. It's a good thing. You're absolutely okay. So, Ashura Sky, thank you. And I'm glad that she was able to introduce you to my content, and I'm glad that I can make you smile, man. Like that. Damn. You're not in trouble, but fuck, that hurt. Ooh. Man. I can only imagine what you're experiencing right now. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. So thank you. Thank you for liking and sharing my pic with your shirt on of the kid. Oh, that was you! Air show was great. Almost the entire HLC family was there. Grandpa Buff, F15, 1635, and the kid and Abrams. Oh, they had an Abrams there. Nice. B29 and B24. And that's one of two. You're sending another one, David. Thank you so much. Dude, that was hands down. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on my Twitter. Actually, I think I also shared it on my Instagram. The best ever that I've received thus far, fan pick, was one of my Would You Intercept Me shirts being worn by David standing in front of the F-22. Like, that's... I never in a million years thought I would see something like that. That was so fucking cool, man. Can you make a video with Fun and BB? I think it'd be really cool. Honestly, I barely have enough time right now to make my own videos, man. Caleb, I don't know what the future's going to hold. When I'm out of the military, I will have more time on my hands, so it's a possibility. Right now, so I want you guys to understand, like, I love doing collabs with other creators. But that involves either me or them writing a script, us collaborating on the script, rewriting it, anything that might need to be done, us recording our individual parts, sending them to each other, putting them together, and then finally producing the product. Like, it's a lot of work. The one that I've done 2 collabs, one with Angry Cops and one with the Fat Electrician, and both of them were several month affairs. Like, both of them took a while. Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me. By far one of your favorite lines in my videos. Keep them up. I look forward to them. I didn't know. Like, it's so weird to me. I'll be scrolling through Reddit, and any post about an aircraft, especially a Russian one or an American F-22, if it's about a Russian one, like some Russian guy just, like, in non-credible defense, just beating their chest, you're always going to have, like, the amount of "would you intercept me" in the comment section is phenomenal. Scotland! Of course. I asked the F-22 guys, "Would you intercept me?" And they were very confused. Pa said, "If you were an enemy of the U.S., I would." It was awkward. Oh, no! They don't know? So I have... Oh, where's it at? I think it's... Hold on. I think it's right over here. Hold on. So a friend of mine, his son is in the Air Force and works with the F-22. And I guess he showed pilots my videos, and I would love to hear a pilot's reaction to the way I portray the F-22, but he sent me this. This is from his old unit. He PCS now. Is 90 AMU UFO hunting since 2023, the Diceman. Hang on, let that focus. He sent me a patch. I got a hoodie, and he also sent me this. Fired from the kid. 20 mil. Smells like freedom. So, I love shit like that. F-22 to the J-20. Would you intercept me? That J-20 needs to watch himself. Sorry, I gotta catch back up, guys. Ever play DCS? What I would be good at? I doubt it. Angie, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Oh, man, I'm way behind. Okay. All right. Aaron Albers. I don't know if anyone asked this. If you can't answer, I understand. Do you think the U.S. should lift restrictions on letting Ukraine strike Russian targets inside Russia with U.S. weapons? Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing. Russia is attacking inside Ukraine with Russian weapons. Ukraine should be able to attack inside Russia with all their weapons that they have. Here, I don't... I don't believe in stipulations when giving weaponry to somebody. I don't. I really don't. So, like, let's say one of my friends hit me up and was like, hey, man, can I get one of your pistols? I'm going to go, or get one of your weapons, or your rifles. I'm going to go hunting. Cool. Once I hand them that rifle, if they go and do something abhorrent with it, am I at fault? The law might agree.
Would you intercept me?
Oh my God! Wither!
I'd intercept me.
Love your videos.
Thank you so much.
Keep it up.
Wither, thank you so much. I'm floored, man. Thank you so much. I'm gonna try and keep it up as long as I can, guys. That's the thing. You guys motivate me. I don't know if you know that. When I read through the comments, which I do a lot, especially on YouTube, I learn from everything you tell me. Oh, they didn't like this. Oh, they like this. Maybe I didn't understand this fully. Oh, that punchline wasn't good. I study my content and what you guys say because I want to deliver you guys the best I possibly can. So that's why I do it that way. So that's the way I look at it, Aaron, is if they're striking inside Ukraine, Ukraine should be able to strike inside Russia, and we shouldn't add any stipulations to our weapon systems. Point blank. All right, let me get caught up. What is the worst modern fighter jet in the world? My money belongs to Russia. Worst modern. That's a tough one because worst is kind of an arbitrary metric, you know, because there are some like the frog. Is it the Frogfoot? The MiG-25. Fucking turns like a lead sled. Awful, but it carries a heavy payload, so, and it's pretty robust. So again, awful. But I'm gonna say, worst modern fighter jet in the world. I can't say the Raphael, or whatever it's called, because they scored a hit on an F-22, even though it was a very strict rules there. Can't say that with the... And I love the Delta Wing design of the Eurofighter Typhoon. I think it's just chef's kiss. It's a beautiful looking aircraft. Worst modern fighter. I would probably say it's I want to say... I'm torn between a MiG and a Su. I want to say the Su-30. The 35 is pretty good. The 30 is not very good. And then the MiG-29 is what I'm thinking of. MiG no good. So I don't know. It's definitely Russian. It's definitely Russian. I don't know. The Chinese, well, because the Chinese haven't really made their own jets until recently. So it's hard to say because all the old Chinese jets, all the ones that are shit, are Russian. Because Russia made a shit ton of them, or the Soviet Union did. I believe the UK is developing a system using multiple low-frequency radar machine, learning to triangulate stealth aircraft and engage them. Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm not talking right now. My brain is working out the probability of something like that. In certain applications and circumstances, it could work. It really could. We use the same thing to triangulate jammers. Oh, yeah, I can say that. If something is jamming one system and you have 3 or 4 systems looking at it, you know right where that jammer is. So it makes sense. There's something in this life beyond here. Be at peace, friends. It's actually going to be okay. I certainly hope so, Aurora. I really do. Again, I'm not a real religious person, but part of, the reason why I say, don't give in to the 22 a day, there's more than just veterans who've taken their lives. And the reality is the longer you live, you're going to probably lose people that you care about to that. And it's awful. And I got it. You can believe whatever you want to about them. Yes, going, not going to heaven, whatever. I hope that someday I get to be there for them because I was unable to in this life. I hope they know that they were cared about. So I want you to know I care about every single one of you. Every single one of you. Just got here. What would make you happy in terms of military news of things happening or new technologies emerging, maybe even international news? As happy, so it's like a weird paradigm. I want the kid to get an interception. I really, really do, because I know my comment section is going to explode the day that happens. They're gonna be like, "When is it dropping?" The anticipation. It's like Brandon Herrera's freaking AK-50. The anticipation built around that thing was just immense. So as much as I would want that, I still don't know which way I'm going with it. Again, he could become chill, or he could become even more bloodthirsty. I don't know which direction I'm going with. Eventually. Do a collab with Mandatory Fun Day? I would love to. Again, time. And I talk to Mandatory Fun Day pretty regularly. It's a matter of time. John 3:16, Blue Liberty. I again, not super well versed in scripture. I don't know that one off the top of my head. What if you hired an animator to work half your channel? That is a goal that I have, and I dipped my toes in there once, and it was, you guys watched the animation, but it wasn't received in the way that I was hoping. It was received poorly, and it's not your fault. By no means is it your fault. I always want to give you what you guys want. It was my fault. I was lazy and I was cheap. So eventually down the road, I would love to do that. And my phone just went off. Not at the moment. You know how Russia talks smack about borders? I'm sure they know the AGM. The JASM. The Russia stockpiles most of their strategic weapons in Murmansk. Totally. Yeah. So it's interesting. And I plan on mentioning this. Russia, okay, we'll put the borders back to where they were. They did not want the Finnish smoke. They didn't want any part of it. I think it's really funny. Oh man, it did it again. Every time I scroll down like a certain point, it'll just boom, it'll drop. So I gotta. Oh, we're back in Iraq. I thought Iranian friendly government was installed there with the Chinese J-20 or is the Chinese J-20 any good? It's I mean, it's good. They have a lot of them. So, but it's never really been tested. It has. Okay, they've come toe-to-toe. Not toe-to-toe. They didn't fight. But they've been detected and intercepted, technically, by F-35s. The Chinese were very tight-lipped about the F-35. They didn't say much about it, like good, bad. The U.S. Navy, on the other hand, said that the J-20 has a great command and control structure, which is like blowing somebody's doors off at the drag strip and being like, I really like his lug nuts. So it's a little weird. Have the kids sing "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" as extra content since it would be demonetized. That's actually pretty funny. I just got down to that 200 wither. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. Thank you guys all. Have I seen Turkey's Wish F-22 yet? Oh, the KA... I saw it. I haven't looked into it. Like, on paper, or at least in images, it looks kind of cool. But I don't know anything about it. I have not done anything remotely close to it. USMP to develop a missile that can be used in all current and future weapon systems. All missiles will have the same capabilities multi-purpose. So Blue Jay, there's some good and bad with that. The good being that you can use missiles on all platforms. The bad is we have different missiles for different purposes. Lower interception, terminal interception, mid-course interception, air to surface, surface to air, surface to surface. But I think I'm picking up what you're laying down. And that's the end state goal with IBCS, the Integrated Air Missile Defense Battle Command System, is any shooter, any sensor, or best shooter, best sensor, or best sensor, best effector. It really depends on the week. Just go to Northrop Grumman's website. They change it all the damn time. Do a collab with Mandatory Fun Day would be good. The Raptor and the boats collab with Mandatory Fun Day. All right, I'll try. I can't guarantee when that one's going to happen. Time is the one thing I don't have much of. I've heard from Korea and Vietnam vets that worked on radar land at night. Fighters have that screen operators would get cancer from radar screening. Was this a real concern? And if so, is it still one? Not necessarily. We understand a whole lot about radiation nowadays. Like, I've taken Patriot radiation, which is C-band. I think I'm okay. All it made me do was I tasted pennies and it felt like every cell in my body was dancing. So I assume I'm okay. X-band radiation, that's a little bit more volatile. S-band radiation, from what I'm tracking, not very volatile. So I don't know. I don't have an answer for you there. If I ever do decide to get into DCS, when you get the time, hit me up on Discord. I'll fly with you. We just got the F4E released. I fly the F14, 15, and there are mods for Pack 3. See, that's the thing. So I know that there's Patriot in DCS. But I worry that like I'll be blinded by my hubris. Like, that's not how that works. Where the fuck was my V-Twiz? So shit like that. So I can say V-Twiz, and I can tell you what V-Twiz means, volume track while search. I don't know if I can fully explain it. I don't know if I'm allowed to, so we'll just leave that. Any thoughts on which character would use Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday from Tombstone? That's a good one. I didn't even think about using that character. I want to say the 777. I really do. Because that thing's been putting in work. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If Buff makes breakfast that he served cream chipped beef on toast, the younger planes, what was their reaction? What is your thoughts? That he served cream... What is cream chipped beef? That's a thing? I'm sorry, I'm American. That doesn't... Is that something we eat here in America? I've never heard that. On toast, the younger planes, what's their reaction? What is your thoughts? Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't know what cream chip beef is, but that sounds awful. That sounds terrible. They would probably not enjoy... I mean, the kid just... Maybe I'll have Grandpa Buff serve something to the younger generation. Retired Air Force vet, love the content. Next video, can we have the kid escape the hangar and creepily stalk the China jet? Maybe. The kids... I don't know. Maybe. I like the idea. I'll add it to the notes. It's delicious? Is it delicious? Sorry, I'm reading both. This is the chat that I'm leaving just run, so it's always at the bottom. This is the one where I'm trying to catch things that I want to talk about. Have I seen the Indian 4.5 Gen fighter? I have not. India is kind of out of my scope right now. I haven't looked into them too much. Only dropped in to give you this. Have a good stream. Thank you so much, R. I appreciate it, man. Don't kill yourself. Outlive your enemies. That's my personal motivation. It's helped me through a lot at times. Bro, that's facts. That is absolute facts. Let me cook, coach. I've chilled out. If anyone likes DCS, hit them up. Many missions and events. I know DCS is a huge thing, but like I have it. I've downloaded it, but I've done nothing with it. I like powered it up. I booted up once. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I couldn't start anything. And I was like, that's weird. I'd intercept me. Thank you, Grimsy. Oh, I don't mean that. I mean hire someone to work your channel to double content with you while you're doing stuff. Also would love more Navy ships and stuff. Oh! Maybe? I don't know. Not right now. Like, honestly, I like doing everything authentic. I don't want to just pump out content. Like, my only downside with that is I don't want to pump out content for the purpose of pumping out content. I want it to all be genuine and from me to you guys. So that's the only issue I would have with that. Shoots down missile Patriots here. Do you think it's possible that an adversary could use the Kessler effect against us, given our reliance on satellites? I see it as something Iran could leverage as a potential attack vector. Kessler effect. I gotta Google that because I'm not familiar with it. I've probably heard it called something else. Mrs. Linecrosser just reminded me that the goal is actually, once I get out, is to be able to provide a lot more content. Okay. Kessler effect against us, given our reliance on satellites. So yes and no. Tech grew. Could the enemy potentially jam or destroy our satellites? Absolutely. Absolutely. But the problem is with that, and you say we have a reliance on GPS, which is true but not true. I know for a fact at least every branch that I have ever worked with, which is field artillery, air defense artillery, and armor, we all train being able to emplace and utilize our systems manually. That means use a compass, use a protractor, use a gunner's quadrant, use a aiming circle, and use a map to be able to level and utilize our system. So we don't need GPS. But I also think you're kind of trying to get me to, well, what about this? Look, guys, if I told you, I would love to tell you, but I can't tell you about the Aegis thing. It's just trust me. They'll be all right. There's nothing you could use against them. It's super cool. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. Look, if I can find it publicly, I will tell you guys, but I have not been able to find it publicly. the Chinese were tight-lipped because they were busy talking about how to steal the designs. You're not wrong. The more research I do into China, everything they have is like re-engineered from something else. They steal a lot of shit. CV90 making its appearance on when on HLC. Oh, you're talking about CV90, isn't that Big E, right? Need some more vids on these ground guys. Keep up the work, my dude. I do need to add more ground things in. 777, I'll be your Huckleberry. I love it. Marco Santiago, thank you so much for the donation. Give Rain a kiss for me, please. Rain, come here, Miss Rain. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hang on. That's my sister. I have to do this. Come here, Rain. Come here. Knox, not you. Come here, Rain. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay. Is that good for you, sis? All right. Good girl, Rain. All right, Buttfoot. Knox smells like Buttfoot, so he gets a smooch too. All right, now we're back. SOS? What's the SOS for? Beef with white gravy? Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, cream chip beef is a Navy thing. I did not know that. Favorite video game? Titanfall or Borderlands. Really depends on the week. Titanfall 2 or Borderlands 2. I have a Borderlands leg and I have a Titanfall leg. I just knocked over my key light. Let me fix that real quick. Thanks, guys. Jackasses. B-21 Raider character. I've added him once. It's also known as shit on a shingle. Sounds like the corned beef hash they service in the Army. Oh, hang on. I gotta scroll back up, and I just saw one. Okay, sorry, I was just reading stuff. Okay, there we go. I've caught back up, I think, a little bit. YouTube has these people that try and make realistic combat engagements and trick people into seeing their channel, all 3D. Hire one of them to expand your content with historic combat replays, maybe. Like DCS stuff? Is that what you're talking about? Because a lot of people do that. Did you know Czech Air Force is Czechanese? Is that really their language, Czechanese? For Czech Navy, shout out to our Czech shipmate Maury. Maury's Czech? Oh yeah, he is, isn't he? Forgot about that. India's 4.5 jet is still work in progress since they dipped out of the Su-57 a long time ago. Smart choice on their hand, personally. I think it's called the AMCA. They're taking their time as they don't want to screw up like Russia. I think Russia is finding out real quick that, like, all of our shit is really expensive because it functions. Like, I'll be honest with you, that video of the S-400 getting annihilated, I was skeptical for two reasons. One, the cold gas generator. Number two, there was literally a drone watching it. You're not getting that drone within a long fucking way of my Patriot system. So, like, that's why I was a little, why? So, authentic is good. I think you're right. I agree. Try making a character out of the Canadian military and the Canadian geese. We have a couple of Canadian geese at work right now. They're a breeding pair, technically. And they're actually pretty chill. They're not assholes. They've been pretty cool. Cream chip beef on toast is called shit on a shingle in the Army, World War I and World War II. You know, my mom called stuff shit on a shingle a long time ago, but that was, pretty much anything. I'd be like, what are we having for dinner? Shit on a shingle? I didn't know that was an actual thing. She would just make it up. Not Komodo Gaming. Slot of the DCS modules have a hot start on servers, so you're ready to fly as soon as you hop in the seat and don't have to fight Patriots with me. And you don't have to fight Patriots. I don't know. I think it'd be fun either way. This is the thing, guys. I want to play video games more. I want to stream video games more. I want to make more content. But right now, between the Army and I have this thing called a wife. Love the woman to death, but God, she wants my time. Trying to juggle all these things. Time is the one thing I do not have much of. And I'm learning that more and more. Like, I text Nick, the fat electrician, and it takes him sometimes days to get back to me. I text Eli, and it always takes him days to get back to me. They're just so damn busy. G'day, mate. I had to say it in the accent. G'day. G'day, mate. Hey, what is going on? Emma, I appreciate you being here. That's when it gets weird. T minus 3 months until I join your Discord. All right, Audrey. Gonna be there. Oh my god, I hate that it does that. I scroll down a little bit and it's just like, boom! It drops way down. I'm trying to keep up. Table 5 and 6 done. Uprange struggling. Yo, Warsu. Don't jinx them like that. So table 5 and 6, for those of you who are unaware, table 5 is, now I got to do it from memory. So .86, table 4 is initialization, mapping, ABML5, and written examination. Table 5 is intermediate air battle management, missile reload, and something else. Table 6 is RSOP combined fucking thing drill, intermediate air battle management, manual emplacement, missile reload, and PM&E, I think. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. Table 7 is the commander's pre-look. Look, hey, I'm a walking .86. Hopefully not. When can we see an SR-72 character? When I see an SR-72. 12AV STOL. I have no idea. What is the XFV-12A? I'm not familiar with that, Sir Dubbus. Where's the buff? I love that guy.
Well, can of spam, since you asked him to come out, he's gonna go ahead and talk to you for a couple quick seconds here. Now, don't mind the way that I look. I know I look like I snuck up on I have to sneak up on a glass of water. I mean, right now, I look like I got hit in the face with a bag of what the fuck.
Thanks, buff. That's not really nice.
Yeah, who gives a fuck what you think? Anyways, yes, I actually switch back and forth between those things that goddamn quick. So what the buff is trying to tell everybody is, well, in the words of a great philosopher from the late 20th century, smoke weed every day.
Buff, that's probably not a good thing to say to people.
Fuck it, it's legal almost everywhere now. You think Buff doesn't just have some of that Cochiba?
Obviously we don't. We have to pee in a cup.
You have to pee in a cup.
See, this is how we get this, like, this back and forth. It's a little... I'm sorry. I just made that up on the spot. I'm sorry. After the holy EA bash you gifted us, you're welcome. Hope Command & Conquer will ever be saved and want to join the Brotherhood of Nod again. Ooh, you're a Nod player? I don't know if Command & Conquer will ever be saved. I really think that the only hope for a lot of those games is that EA circles the drain so far that they start selling titles to indie companies. That's really what it's going to be. Titanfall will never go because Respawn has their cash cow, which is Apex. Frustrating. Watch someone kill a Canadian goose with a 7-iron once? Where? Crocodilius, who was fighting geese with golf clubs? With BVR, will the requirement being an ace change? Will the kills be increased or will the requirements make any kills not BVR? Mail call and models update. Blue, I haven't gotten to anything. I haven't. And then mail call, eventually I'm going to be bringing back up the what is it? The PO box, but maybe not while I'm here. Maybe once I get permanent where I'm going. And I don't think the standards for an ace should change. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Funny story about the Su-57. The only reason it's even in service right now is because India funded it. I did not know that. I have to look into that. India left the program because Russia was going back on promises and not letting Indian techs near it. Sounds about like Russia. Sounds about right. Oh, god damn it, it did it again. I was scrolling down. Mrs. HLC bullying. Yeah, she is keeping me humble, that woman. I love her to death. Russia has planned to make the Su-57, which is apparently far superior to the F-22 and 35. Or the Su-75, the checkmate, sorry. They've actually planned to make it. I thought they canceled the program. I'm not even being a smartass. I genuinely thought they canceled the program. If they didn't, let's see. Sir Dubious Dingo, what is your very pressing question? Mrs. Linecrosser, if you happen to see that come through, please let me know. I remember her, my grandfather told me whenever she was in Raider in the Korean War. Oh yeah, back during the Korean War, Geiger counters were a whole lot more common. And a Geiger counter will go off in front of a radar. And certain components, like TWTs, traveling waveguide tubes, might go off at a Geiger counter. Might. Can you tell us an interesting declassified fact about Patriot? Oh, that's a great one. I'm trying to think of like, because I can tell you parts of things. I'm trying to think of one whole thing that I can say. Okay, I mean, I can say this because Lieutenant Commander Candeloro said it in 2003. Patriot doesn't target the aircraft. Its bias is the cockpit, and the way it engages it is that missile comes down right on top of the cockpit. Now, why is it important to come down on top of the cockpit? Which way do you eject normally? Like, I'm not saying it's nice, but it's effective. Shoots down missile. Let me in at you. No! Are you excited about the Pentagon got its budget allotments? Let's celebrate with a new ship design produced that it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You talking about the Zumwalt? The only thing I'm excited about that the U.S. government has done recently is there's a proposed very large increase for E4 and below in the Army, and I think that they absolutely deserve it. Rob, I know. I have the idea for the Hummer character, just haven't had a reason to use it yet. It's on my list. I'm so sorry. Rob has been in here week after week like, I want a Hummer character. I want a Hummer character. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I promised him a long time ago that I would make it. So he's not pestering me. He's just holding me to my word. HLC's the new Jeff Dunham. Would you intercept me?
Kid, shut the fuck up.
Grandpa, it's not very nice. I have to pee in a cup. I do. And a grown man has to watch me. I don't know if you guys know this. For those of you who are not in the military and never been in the military, you don't only, like, it isn't like in the civilian world where they give you a cup and go, hey, go in that bathroom over there, pee in this cup. Don't wash your hands. Just bring it back out to me and then you can go in there and wash your hands, right? It's not like that. In the Army, at least, they have to watch the urine leave the body in case you have a fake ding-a-ling down there and you're like, you've pocketed somebody else's pee. So, yeah. And when you become an NCO, they're like, you, come here, sign this paper. Go look at people's wieners. And you have to. And then women, like, if you have females that have to take the UA, you're just bringing a woman. You're like, hey, go stare at fucking lady bits all day. That's it. And you're there until everybody pees. Create an Arrow character. I do. No, it wasn't the Arrow. It's the Aardvark I wanted to do. I've had a lot of people ask for the Arrow, and I don't know enough about it. Huge beef against the Trudeau family as Pierre Elliott Trudeau killed the program. Is that the one that, like, was really good but just never got its, like, fucking thing? Never got its chance? I think I'll add an Arrow. Mrs. Linecrosser is texting me. Oh, Mrs. Linecrosser said we need to get a moment of silence for the Cheddar Bay biscuits at Red Lobster. They found the USS Harder? What is that? Are you hyped for systems like IBCS? A little bit. Okay. The idea is great. I love the idea of IBCS. In action, it is still lacking a lot. I've worked on the program for 4 years, so I have a lot of intimate knowledge with it. The concept is revolutionary. It's going to save so many more lives. We're going to be able to cover so much more with so many few people, or so much fewer people. Like, it's going to revolutionize air defense, and it's going to put us in a league far beyond anything anyone else in the world has. I love it. I feel like Northrop has bit off more than they can chew, and now they're trying to make it work. They're desperately trying to make it work. It's got a long way to go. It's come a long way. I will say that. They are active, like they are working their ever-loving fucking tails off on IBCS, but we're not there yet. So it's clear I love the Navy entirely, good and bad. But on a side note, I love Command & Conquer, and I want a Command & Conquer TV series and games. That would be fucking cool. I mean, this is the thing. I was a champ on fucking generals, and I never played PLA. Greenland, I could mess you up as the PLA. I was laser general. As long as you don't mess with my power grid, you ain't getting through, homie. You see the S400 getting slapped by ATACMs. I did. Originally, I was very apprehensive about it because I was like, yeah, these don't look. It didn't look right to me. And after I looked through that thing frame by frame, that is absolutely an S400. My question is, why was all launchers clusters so close to the radar? Do you think it's a limitation of the system or poor SOP? Actually, that's a great question. I don't think it's a limitation of the radar. I think it was a limitation of the room they had to put it in. It's very hard to find areas to place air defense systems that aren't just wide out in the open. So because their launchers are cold gas generators and they don't have a backblast on them, they can place them closer together, which is a capability that Patriot really doesn't have because ours are hot launches. I don't know why it was so close together. It could have been poor SOP. But I will tell you this, it's less taxing on a radar system, and they have 3 of them, to protect a smaller area than it is to protect a larger area, if that makes sense. Or maybe they were using it as a direct fire asset, which is possible. They do that. You know, the S-400 has the ability to shoot at ground targets. Patriot, you could, but it's really hard to do. You would have to like break off a whole lot of, turn off a whole lot of safeties. I remember for years people thought Russian jets were better just because they can do a bunch of fancy shit at air shows. About time they finally started waking up. Like, here's the thing. Is it cool to be able to maneuver and do a Cobra maneuver? Yeah, but a Cobra maneuver is also the most efficient way to bleed off all your airspeed and make yourself a very large target for anything chasing you. Like a radar-guided missile, you just became its wet dream. Oh, my thing I was chasing just octupled its radar cross-section and slowed down to nothing. It's just a really bad idea. A Hummer that's thing is just a hum. HLC me gazer duty juror knows it. Lot the data, one got stolen, ended up in the MiG-25. Oh yeah. Not the Cheddar Bay biscuits. For all the shrimp that won't be consumed by humans. There's so many shrimp that are going to be alive now because Red Lobster's gone. Well, it's not completely gone. They're closing most of their stores. Most goofy and impractical gun you want for fun. Oh, absolutely. So I bought it. I have one. It's my 4570 Henry Repeater Gold Boy. Now you're like, well, 4570 is the gun that settled the West. Yes, but in modern times, it's completely impractical. Like, look, I love a 1911. Modern weapons weigh as much as a 1911 with 3 times the ammo capacity, and they're equally as accurate. I call a spade a spade. I love a 1911. I love a 4570. Compared to what we have nowadays, they're trash. I just wanted a 4570 for no reason. There's no logical reason to have a 4570. But I wanted one, so I got it. Submarine that sunk a lot of Japanese ships. Out here trying to get my Fox body to run. Ooh, yes! Unleash the missiletism. Good old Fox body 5.0s. They're not bad. Screw the biscuits at Red Lobster. I'm going to miss the scampi. Ooh, the scampi. And the cracked crab. I never had their crab. Their cracked crab. Tech Guru, thank you so much for the dono, my dude. Oh, I did it again. There we go. Okay, now we're... Hey, you get H&C... CNC General's Zero Hour mod, Rise of the Reds. It's fantastic and adds Russia. Really? Now I'm going to have to get mods. I didn't know people were actually modding Command & Conquer Generals. Because, interesting story, I was in Manas, Kyrgyzstan, me and all my friends, and we were on our way into Afghanistan, and they had a place in there. For my Air Force people, you've probably been to Manas, Kyrgyzstan. And they had a place called Shooters. And in Shooters, they had a LAN, room. And they had a bunch of computers LAN together. And I was like, cool. And they had Command & Conquer Generals. And I was like, hey guys, let's play Command & Conquer Generals. So it was 8 of us. And I was like, you all can go against me. I'm a beast in Command & Conquer Generals. And the rule was we had 20 minutes to build. Okay, so I built. And then they all came at me. And I will admit, they got through about 3 out of my 5 waves. They got through about 3. And then, so what I did is I found an open area of the map where they weren't, because I knew they were still scouting my main base, and I stored all of my troops there, and I hit the population cap. And all they saw was a blob of blue moving across the map towards their base. And then I crashed the entire LAN network. I did that. Maybe Red Lobster will become a brand at stores. Hopefully. I'd love to get some more Cheddar Bay biscuits. Order a bunch and cook at home from online Red Lobster. I may need to. Oh, I did it again. Gold Boy lever guns are a wet dream. They're just, it's fun. It's a fun gun. HLC, I didn't get to tell you, but watching your videos and your streams made me happy. Yesterday I had an emotional breakdown due to the political climate, but guys like you gave me hope. Thank you. Haven Lady, I really appreciate it. Honestly, the world is an awful place, and I always want to keep people informed, but at the same time, make them laugh. And sometimes I do take some liberties, some artistic liberties, to make those jokes hit. I want to apologize to everybody in chat, and I mean honestly, my entire following. The video I made yesterday about the Georgian law, I didn't fully understand it. I read a couple articles about it, and apparently the articles that I found were very pro-Russian, and I didn't know that. So a lot of people pointed out how wrong I was in the comment section, and it's okay. It's okay to be wrong. You know, some people be like, you need to take this down, you're dead wrong. No, I think it's important to own your mistakes. I'm going to leave it up. But I also was very transparent in the comment section. Hey, I fucked this up. This is on me. Are you stationed at Fort Bliss? If so, have you ever went home before 2 weeks during table aids? Hell no. I was stationed at White Sands. I've never been stationed at Bliss. Thank God. Because Bliss has some cool shit like Freedom Crossing, but Bliss it's fucking miserable. Heard Helldivers 2 has a Clone Wars mod. I don't know. Helldivers 2 kind of, I don't know. I love it, but it's kind of fallen off for me. I'll be your Huckleberry. People want that to be, I was going to do the 777 with that. I need a B-36 Peacemaker. No, I didn't have that. Character being salty that he never got used in war just to scare the USSR. The B-52 console him with jokes and sarcasm about the B-36. Maybe. That's a lot of bombers to jump through, but I might. You would 1,000% vote for me if I ran for president? I will never run for political. Okay, I might run for like mayor, because being a mayor is like the best position in politics, and here's why. Because if something happens in your city, all you got to say is, I'm working with the governor to solve this. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then you got to go cut some stuff, you know, kiss some babies, shake some hands, and you're good. Hey man, thanks for all you do in your real job and part-time. What do you think is the impact AI will have on warfare? Just started watching. Sorry if this is a repeat question. No, you're good, Clark. So I think that there's proper applications of AI, and then I think that there's improper applications of AI. Proper application of AI would be background computing, logistics, information, you know, use it for something like that. Improper use of AI would be lethal decisions. You should never use AI to make lethal decisions because you can't program morality into a system. At least yet. I have no idea if they have like a learning morality algorithm. I have no clue. I think that in certain situations, like, okay, let's take an example. If you put AI in an F-16, okay, and let's say that AI has control, but you have a pilot in there who is making the lethal decisions. That becomes a powerhouse. Because now, let's say that F-16 gets engaged, and you have an AI that has learned to maneuver that system as good as that pilot. That AI now will not get nerves. It will not be nervous about anything. It will not have anything else, you know, like nothing is affecting it. It's strictly logic. It will now conduct evasive maneuvers in the most efficient way possible, as fast as humanly possible, way quicker than a human could ever react, potentially saving that pilot. I think that marrying AI and human involvement together is going to create more lethal systems, like better lethal systems and safer engagements overall. I think that's the best way to look at it. That's how I look at it, if that makes sense. I was involved for a few years in IBCS, the airborne player side. Were you frustrated with contractual BS getting in the way of cool stuff actually getting done? Abso-fucking-lutely. So in December of 2019, I conducted a IBCS Flight Test 5. I was the shooter. You guys can go on YouTube and look up IBCS Flight Test 5. I fired 2 missiles, took out 2 targets. You may have been one of the airborne sensors that I had up there, which we can actually say what you are now because they came out with it. F-35s. There was 2 F-35s in the air, and they were helping guide in my missiles, providing sensor coverage. And it was really cool. I loved it. But for a month beforehand, we had to do practice runs to make sure that I didn't shoot an F-35. Yeah, I can say that. It has friendly codes, and it's coming up friendly on the fucking Link network. Why am I going to shoot that? It was number 2, that I also knew how to properly self-destruct my missiles. We had to practice how to negate engagements 500 times. That was their requirement. You have to blow up your simulated missiles 500 times before we're going to say that you are okay to do this. But the other thing with contracting on IBCS is they're like, hey, because they see our numbers, right? They see like we had like 120 people in my unit, so they think they have 120 people they can pull. Well, they don't consider low density MOSs, other training missions going on. They don't consider command team is not going to be out there testing and shit like that. So they were just like, we need 120 people, and you get out there with as many as you can spare, because we had to like nickel and dime. Like, look, I can give you 30, and they're like, yeah, we'll take all 30. They get out there, and there's like 3 people that have to be there for jobs. It's wild. Red Lobster biscuit mix is sold in stores already? Well, I'll be. What about the B-57 Hustler? I haven't even heard of that. 109A6 character talk to other weapon systems. 109. That's a Paladin, right? If I'm not mistaken. ODST is way better than Helldivers because Helldivers are rookies straight out of boot camp. You ain't wrong. Survive 3 engagements at UNSC Marines before even be considered for ODST. That goes hard. I actually didn't know that about ODST. I liked the ODST game. I didn't think it was. I think it's a little overhyped, but I think the game was good. If we were being open, I stopped eating for over a month several years ago. Just gave up over stress. Police officer actually got me into a hospital. That's fucking awesome. Like, not that you stopped eating, but I'm saying it's awesome that that a police officer was able to help you that way. Like, that's. I feel like that's what all cops want to do, but not all of them. I mean, they meet the worst of humanity, so it kind of like fogs their vision on a lot of things. I'm not saying all cops are perfect. There's gonna be somebody in here like, what about not all cops are perfect? But hear me out. Not everybody in the military is perfect. Like, here's the thing. I'm all about support the troops. I'm all about it, right? Support the troops. Until I drive in the roundabout near my house. And then it's fuck the troops. Because they don't know how to... Why are you stopping at a yield when there's nobody in the goddamn roundabout? So, I get it. First HLC live stream. Thank you for being here, the Great Chewy Express. Love the content. I hope you're having a good day, HLC. Would love to see some Ace Combat gameplay from you. Y'all think I'm good at that stuff? I'm fucking dumb. No, I'm just kidding. We getting closer to Skynet? Yes and no. Again, AI should be able to make lethal recommendations, but never make lethal decisions. I can't elaborate. Yeah, it's covered by an NDA. I can't elaborate more. I'm sorry. Hospital got me to rehabilitate for 2 weeks, and I spent that time thinking like, oh, got a lot of guilt, move forward in schooling. That's the thing. Never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid. I'm in therapy right now, guys. I always want to be completely transparent with you. I'm in therapy right now. And this therapist, he's really good at his job, but god damn it, he's asking me a lot of hard questions that I don't feel like answering. You know how many times I've been like tried to deflect with humor? Like, I'll tell him and he's like, how does that make you feel? And I'm like, sometimes it just be like that though. And he's like, no, tell me how that makes you. I'm like, god damn it. He asked me a question one time. I said, pass. And he's like, you can't do that. Fuck. I don't want to talk about these things. Protocol 4, which is feed the pooches. Air miss range. She doesn't like jumping up, so I'll just give her one. And then I'll give the fat boy one up here. Come on up. You want to put your head in there? All right, go on. Go lay down. Love you guys. Will we get Kentucky as a character? Maybe. If I have a reason to use Kentucky. A lot of people... Everybody wants their state. And it's okay. I want to give you guys what you want. It's just... Eventually. Computers are amoral. They're run by strict logic without emotional input. Absolutely. I actually agree with your assessment. Computers should not be able to make life or death decisions without human input. 100%. Okay, so I'm going to give you a theoretic here. This is the easiest way I can dance around some stuff. So theoretically, in air defense, we have what's called a CAL and a DAL. A CAL is a critical asset list, a DAL is a defended asset list. This is a list of things you want to protect because of their criticality, vulnerability, recuperability, and threat. Okay, that's how you get this. It's called a CVRT assessment. You create the CAL. The DAL takes the number of systems you have and applies it to things on a defended asset list. Now, everything we have is finite. So, you have things that are higher priority, like priority 1, and things that are priority 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. When you theoretically place an AI in charge of that, you're going to say, this is the number 1 asset. This is the number 1 thing we need to protect. Based off of its logic, it could start allowing other assets to die because it needs to save its interceptors and manpower to protect that one asset, if that makes sense. That's why I have certain problems with AI. Becoming an animator, trying to make it as a filmmaker someday as an animator, I have a dream and hope and caring for family. Actually happy. Aurora, I'm fucking proud of you. Like, dead serious. And, hey, I wish you the best in your future endeavors being an animator. Send me some of your shit. I'll take a look. But I want you guys to know, when I ask you to send me something, like something you're working on, I do want to support you. I do want to show you. But I'm also going to be very honest. Be like, hey, you know, I do it like a positive way. This is, you know, it's decent for a first try, but you should try and learn something like this. Or what about this? Because I'm just a comedian. So if you're trying to make something funny, I can help you out there. The Cobra maneuver is good for gunfights, showing off airframe strength and durability. Air shows in Russia used to be a sale for aircraft and propaganda. That makes sense. I actually learned very recently that somebody, it was Iran, was showing off one of their things, and they were expecting a lot of buyers, and they didn't get them. Sorry I'm late. The offer for an oiled up intercept. God damn it. Still stand. I'm thinking there should be dinner first. Maybe a warm bath and some Coldplay. Wow, D. Myers. Welcome. You love my dog? Knox is, I love that dude. He is my best buddy. But he is a lot. He has a medical condition. It's called me fat. Tell Nick that he has anti-commutism. Hold on. I'm taking a picture of that. And I'm going to send it to him right now. I'm going to take a picture of that. I'm going to send it to him right now. I will. It is sent. Hold on. Just found out yesterday some people hosted a 4-year-old birthday party themed around Palestine and Hamas. Here's the thing. I don't take it as personal as I should. Okay. I don't take it very personal when people because Americans don't know. They don't know. I'm sorry. Like, all these young kids that are ranting and raving about, you know, Palestine and Hamas, they don't know the circumstances. They're getting their information from somewhere else, and they believe that they're more educated than some people that actually have experience. One of the main, like, guys in Hamas, one of the main dudes, his son is in the United States, has denounced Hamas, and, like, has opened a lot of people's eyes to things. I know what terrorism does to people. And right now, I feel bad for anyone who identifies as a Palestinian because they're caught between Hamas and the IDF. And the unfortunate reality of a non-uniformed enemy is you have to treat everybody like they're Hamas. You can't treat all of them like they're friendly. And it sucks. This whole situation sucks. Do I think it's a genocide? No. And I hate that word has even come up. It's become a buzzword, and here's why. 35,000 people have been killed in Gaza. Around 10,000 or less of those are women and children. That's UN numbers. And people are calling this a genocide. 2.1 million people live in Gaza in 2023. So 35,000 out of 2.1 million constitutes genocide. Okay. How about the 300,000 that died in the global war on terror? Was people calling the way the US did and our allies did a genocide? No, didn't think so. How about the 60,000 people that were killed in the Berlin firebombing? No, wasn't a genocide. Only the Nazis were doing it. Okay, cool. What about the 200,000 people in the bad word of Nanking? 250,000 that the Japanese did. We're not calling that a genocide? No. Okay, cool. So I think when you call something like this, which is awful, I'm not saying it's not awful. It is absolutely awful. But when you call it a genocide, number one, you elevate it to a level that it is not at, and number two, you lower the standard for what it is. Like, it bothers me because I've read about what actual genocide is, and it's awful. It is complete human extermination, and this is not that. This is not that. Like, I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I looked into it. The amount of people that are getting the amount of buildings that are getting destroyed. Like 30% of the buildings are destroyed. 30%. I want to pay attention to the numbers. I don't want someone telling me how to feel about something. I want to pay attention to the analytics, the numbers. How many are being killed? Like, I don't agree that 35,000 people should get killed. So, but at the same time, I also agree that some people shouldn't live under the thumb of terrorism. So, I don't pick sides in this thing. I think there is no clean hands in this entire thing. But everything going on in Gaza the Israelis learned from us. And what do I mean by that? Is they watched us try and nation rebuild and play nice for 20 years, and it didn't work. The second we left, the Taliban moved right back in. They're learning everything from us. I'm sorry. So that's the way I look at it. Okay, and I'm not so mad about elevating it. I'm more upset about lowering it from what those other things are. So, by the way, Nick texted back. He laughed. He's like, "Oh my god." As someone from New Jersey, don't make a New Jersey character. We're the worst. Massachusetts is going hard as the only state to receive enemy fire during World War One. Really? I didn't know that. I had no idea. Okay. Avro Arrow was the first Delta Wing. Really unfortunate that it was killed. Pretty sure it was replaced by missile defense. I don't know anything about the Avro Arrow. I gotta look into it. Okay, I got caught up. Lots of rumors what happened to them, including USA got it before it was chopped. Some of the devs think it went to Skunkworks. Skunkworks do be doing shit. They be building shit. What do you think of the turtle tanks making a comeback in Ukraine to defend against drone strikes? I find it funny because it's less than like 40% effective, which, I mean, on the battlefield, 40%, hey, that's an absolute win. But I'm still seeing turtle tanks get their turrets popped. So it's funny. Good night, everyone. Take it easy, man. Could we make a carrier that could support a buff? We've landed, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know they attempted it. I don't know if I believe they succeeded in it. A C-130 on a carrier. I don't know if we could do a buff just because of the wingspan. I don't know. Genocide is also a legal definition, and the U.S. is not a signee in the Treaty of Rome? Really? I had no idea. You don't win war by catering the enemy. Show me where it happened. That's, I mean... Again, war is awful. War is terrible. War is... So everyone's always heard that quote, war is hell. Okay. Do you know the rest of that quote? War is hell, and it's a good thing it is hell, or else we would learn to enjoy it. We fought for 20 years, and there was some in our ranks, and very few. Like, here's the thing. You always find those guys in your hometown like, God, I love fighting the bad guys. They're full of shit. Because I've met the real ones, and they're few and far between. They are very few and far between. But every once in a while, you meet somebody like in the military, and like, that man has seen too much death. They're a lot less now because most of those guys got out since the wars ended. But yeah, they're. What are my thoughts on the Ross rifle? I'm unfamiliar with the Ross rifle. Let me take a look. I mean, I like the round, the caliber of round 308. British, it's a straight pull bolt action rifle chambered in 308. Made in Canada from 1903 until 1918. I don't know much about it, but it looks like a, I don't know, it's a weird thing. So if you guys look it up, the picture that comes up, the front of it looks like a musket, the back of it looks like a Car 98, but the top of it looks like a fucking a Garand, an M1 Garand. It's weird. It's a strange looking thing. HLC, what's up, Caleb? What do you think about the Star Citizen master modes? 3.23. Us civilians are idiots who believe the sky is red if we're told it is. You're not wrong. Or U.S. civilians. I haven't even played Star Citizen. I updated it. Actually, let me see. Is it still updated? Because I think they did another update. Let me pull up RSI. Nope. Yeah, it says launch game. So I haven't played any Star Citizen. I've been doing other things. There are no good guys in that shitstorm. There's no good guys in any shitstorm. Mrs. HLC needs to interview HLC with our questions. I think we should do that again. Mrs. HLC, if you're watching this, would you be so kind, maybe next Friday, to join me for at least part of it? Would you be so kind and we can answer questions together? Questions. So you see helicopters as possible defense against drone attacks for emplaced assets. I think the drone defense, proper drone defense, is going to be a layered, tiered system. Number one that is going to eliminate the large number of them is going to be either electronic warfare, jamming, electromagnetic pulse, you name it. The second wave is most likely going to be energy weapons, lasers, things like that, because you don't want to give away your position. The third and final layer is most likely going to be lead slingers like your CRAM or your LPWS, which is a CRAM. I think that's going to be a good drone defense. Now, for your higher level, what are they called? Size 4 and 5 drones, those are going to be missiles. Stingers, maybe. Stingers are really rated for size 3 and below. Patriot, and people are like, well, why are you going to use a Patriot missile? I don't think you understand. Size 4 and size 5 are like Predator drones and Global Hawks. Like, they're fucking huge. And they're very expensive. Size 3 and below are like less than like 200 pounds. So I think no clean hands now my go-to when talking about it. That's the easiest way to look at it, man. What do I think of the Indian Hal Tejas? I'm not familiar with it at all. Can we get a historical story time where young Buff is having the B-17 tell him about the time an enemy fighter rammed a B-17 and still flew home? I might bring that up. I've done it before, so I have brought the B-17 and the B... No, it wasn't the B-17, it was the B-25. I brought in the Mitchell, because I was talking about Rangers, the Doolittle raid. God, I know a lot of history. Shit. Yeah, I gotta check out that one. Turtle tanks are about to get 777 rounds. Oh yeah, they are. Buff is huge. Buff is enormous. It's been done several times with the C-130. I didn't know that. Tell him I said thanks. I watched tomorrow's new unsub on Pepperbox today. He goes so hard, it's good. Y'all make me proud to be an American. I will tell him thanks. Anti-commutism. He's gonna use that in a video. I bet. I fucking bet. Because it's good. Know anything about the Russian on the chopper in Iran and big secret stuff? So here's the thing. And nothing against you, Mitch. Being in the military compartmentalizes information really well. So I know a lot about air defense systems because I need to know that. I need to know air defense systems. I know a lot about enemy missiles because I need to know about enemy missiles. Anything like that, like intel, like S2 stuff, bro, I don't even know what time I'm getting off of work most of the time. So I know nothing about it. I haven't even heard anything about it. I'll take a look at it. Google's AI tells you to use Elmer's glue to keep the cheese on your pizza. They're using Reddit to help it learn. So do we want it to go to war? Color me skeptical. I didn't know they were using Reddit to teach Google AI. That is insane. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I am huge. You are. So I can tell you, it's funny, I had one of my students, they were talking and they brought up the PAC-3 lethality enhancer. And I can tell you that a PAC-3 has a lethality enhancer in it. I can't tell you what that is, or what it's made of, or what it's comprised of. I can't tell you any of that. And he brought it up, and he was like, yeah, and started talking about what it was. And I was like, stop. And he's like, what? And I was like, you can't bring up what is in a lethality enhancer. And he's like, wait, we talk about that all the time. I was like, yeah, I didn't know. You can't find it anywhere on the internet. I was unable to find it anywhere. And I even had like other instructors help me look. They're like, seriously, it's not on the internet? No, it's not. Like, anywhere. I found one reference to it, but it's wrong. So, hey, HLC, I was at the Wright Pat Air Force Museum recently and looking at Buff, one of the employees was explaining how the museum was haunted.
Well, I want you to know that I'm the only one prowling at night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sleeping most of the time.
There we go. Are we ever going to have a reason to let the kid off the leash? I hope so. So much. I really want to just see. The fat electrician is here? Who said communism? What is up, bro? Oh, man. That is awesome. Thank you for being here, bro. So for those of you who are just getting in here, somebody said something about how Nick has anti-commutism, and I sent it to him. They were like, hey, can you let him know? And I let him know, and I love it. I love it. So I hope he's still in here, the guy who sent that. Crazy behind on the stream. I'm always working and only able to listen in. Best and practical gun is the American 180. If you don't know, look it up. What is the American 180? Karl Marx has left the chat. American 180. Ah! Okay, I want you to know, pan magazines are garbage anyways. There's a reason, like, everybody stopped using them. They're heavy, they're impossible to carry, yeah, they got a good, like, number of round count to them, but no more or less than you're going to get from a drum. 22 LR Tommy gun. Okay. How did he knows that. He knows everything. You know what? Look, I need to know something, Nick. Do you know why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Like, that's what I've been looking for. Even if someone's wearing armor through that 4570s, oh yeah. Bro, I was out shooting the 4570 and there was a steel target at 50 yards and everyone, you know, we were all kind of shooting. They had 308s, 223s and stuff and we were just ting, ting. I hit it with my 4570 and things like ping and it like jumped in the air. Dude next to me looked over and was like, Jesus Christ. I don't care if I'm hitting your level 4 plates, I'm still taking you off your feet, buddy. Hold on, I'm just trying to see. It's the taste you can see. See, he knows it. He knows it all. Give it a nickname 2 Inches of Fury after your first drug test in the Marines. I don't know if I would tell people that, man. I think I forgot to last stream. Thank you for making your boat say, would you touch me? I touch me. Would you touch me? Oh, yeah, don't touch the boats. Thank you so much, Fat Electrician, for popping in here, buddy. We need to hang out some more. I've been busy as shit. I'm actually going to be doing some traveling here soon, so. Mrs. Linecrosser. Oh, man. Hang on. I gotta represent my nephew. He's going to his first official event that has color guard, and he's nervous about it. So I'm gonna see if I can show you. He's in Marine Corps JROTC, so he's a good kid. There we go. Oh. The Pack 3 lethality enhancer is actually just a mini nuke from Fallout. Fuck it, Warsuit. We're gonna let it run. Mr. HLC behind missile, also behind Missiletism 2. Hey Nick, you and HLC are the reason I found unsub. Y'all get me through my day. Brian, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I know Nick does too, even if he's not always here or paying attention. I know, like, that dude. Here's the thing, man. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. So I met Nick, I met Eli, I met Brandon, I met Cody, like all those guys from the unsub, and I'll be honest with you. By no means am I at the top, right? Like I don't ever consider myself at the top. I'm always hungry for what comes next. And but those guys are like the top. So when I started hanging out with them, I thought it would be more like cutthroat at the top. And I want you to know that the unsub guys are the most genuine, like polite, smart, and like nice people you will ever meet. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, they like to shit talk and have a case of the fuck arounds, but they are some of the nicest and most genuine guys you'll ever meet. Like Eli Double Tap, I can call him anytime if I have camera issues. That man has like cameratism. He has forgotten more shit about cameras than I'll ever know. And Nick is like my spirit guide. He really is. The dude, anytime I have any questions about anything, I just hit him up and he's like, oh, it works like this, works like this. Like, he's just so fucking smart. Brandon, every time I met him, like the second time I met Brandon, he like walked over and gave me a hug. He's like, what's up, bro? Like, he's super fucking nice. And Donut, I have only talked to Donut a little bit, but he's also like super nice, helpful. Like, I joined Twitter because I wanted to watch the shenanigans between Brandon and fucking Tony. And Donut, like, you know, verified, his big name on there, and I commented on something. He's like, bro, I'm sorry I didn't follow you sooner. I was like, bro, you're totally good, man. I just got here. Like, you're totally fine. They're just really genuine people. They are absolutely, I am so privileged to have them as friends. And like, I want you guys to know, like, they're that way all the fucking time. Like, they are just super, super fucking nice, polite. They want to help. They want to teach. They want to influence. They want, like, they're there for you guys. Like, they're amazing people, bro. If Russia touches the boats, Canada breaks out the checklist Geneva gave us. the fucking Canadians. Why does Brandon look 40? Man, poor Brandon, he is stressed out. He is, character idea is the Saturn V. So I went to Huntsville, Alabama. They have a really good space museum there, and they have 2 Saturn V rockets. They have one outside that's standing up, and then they have one inside, which is on its side. And bro, the boosters on that fucking thing are just nuts. They're just nuts, man. We have an auto defense system of tongue lashing. Only on Thursdays. Yes. When Eli cried announcing the TISM touch numbers, man, as a dad with a kid with autism feels the same hearing it. Dude, I'm telling you, they are fucking phenomenal people. I'm so privileged. Like, and this is the thing, it's I sometimes feel like I'm not thankful enough. And I hope you guys don't take that the wrong way, but like, I'm so thankful you guys support me in this. Like, I'm so thankful you guys want to help me because you love the content that I do. It makes you happy. It makes you interested. Like it you know, the most common comment I get is, "This is how I get my news now." That makes me feel great because I'm reaching an audience that previously wasn't paying attention to world events. So I know I'm not the most informative thing out there, but if I can be a forcing function and be like, what is this about? And you guys look into it on your own, it's phenomenal. I love every part of that. And then I met those guys, and I'm so thankful that I have them. Honestly, all the people down there have just, Eli has changed my life. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Eli and Nick specifically have changed my life. Absolutely 100%. And I told Eli that, and just being his humble self, he was like, no, dude, you did it. I just maybe helped guide you a little bit. And that, to be at that level and be that humble, it's mind-blowing, man. He's like one of the greatest people on this fucking planet. So it's really good. Why does Brandon look 40? Yep, I already answered that. Bro, I don't know. He's stressed. It's just stress. I would love to watch you and Destin from Smarter Every Day talk about missiles. I don't know. Let me check him out. Smarter Every Day. I'll write it down. I'm not familiar with it. Von Braun was a SS Lieutenant Colonel. Yep. I think the country skits are hilarious. I'm glad you guys love them, man. Those dudes seem so they absolutely are. Like, the way you see them, like with the level of fuck around they have on Unsub, but like the genuine care that they have, it's all real. Like, none of it's fake. Like, those guys are absolutely that way 100% of the time. Eli is a dude has 2 speeds. He's cranked up to 11 or he's asleep. Those are the only speeds he has, man. Horns for the comment about Los Tres being below Taco Bell quality. I'm dying laughing. Mrs. Linecrosser loved that comment. She loved that. Because we're not a fan of Los Tres. It's really like, Taco Bell is my go-to Mexican here because it's the close. Well, okay. It was Nacho Mama's, but now my wife got sick from there. So, Genuine Guys S tier, Brandon is B tier. Ask Wendigoon. I got it, man. If you guys haven't jumped on Twitter yet and watched the shenanigans between Brandon and Tony, with this, like, the political rivalry, it's so good. It's so good. You guys just have to check it out. Have you seen the Missile Guidance System voice vids? I have. I have, and I like them. I wish I could do that. Hell of a nice guy, knows a lot about, well, a lot. Absolutely. Clowork Gaming, thank you so much for the donation, my dude. Your honorary Purple Heart recipient. He is, man. He's got 7 Purple Hearts. And what you do is present information to us in a fun and entertaining manner that isn't easy to do these days. Thank you so much, CJ. I really appreciate it, man. That's all I really want to do. So for some of you who may not, I'm so proud of Brandon for continuing to run a clean campaign. Absolutely. Brandon wants to beat him in policy and doesn't want to beat him in just shit talking. So what I will tell you is, you guys may not know this. I say this periodically because I want you to know, like, I am genuine. And the reason I started making content was around 2017 when I got back from my last deployment. My ex-wife and I, we split up. I will never publicly say anything bad about that woman. We just drifted apart. I'll just leave it at that. We just drifted apart. And so I came home over here at Reinhardt Gym. It was like 11 o'clock at night. They formed us up. They marched us in. They were playing, like, courtesy of the red, white, and blue. There was confetti. We'd been gone for a year. It was wonderful. And then they dismissed us, and all the families came running in. All the soldiers ran to their families, and I looked around, and there was nobody there for me. And I knew there was nobody there for me. which hurt. It hurt a lot. And I remember I was gonna just take a cab or get like a walk to my house, and I mean it was miles because I just didn't want to bother anybody, you know. And one of my buddies, James McCraw, he's one of the greatest humans I've ever met. He was like, "Hey man, borrow my car," and I borrowed his car because I didn't have a way to get home. And I remember it was 54 degrees inside my house. Yeah, all the electricity was shut off. I mean, no water, no nothing. And I slept there that night, and that was a hard spot for me. And around that same time, I made my first funny video, and I wanted people to think of me as you know, funny. I wanted them to tell me I was great. I wanted people to tell me that I was awesome. It was selfish. And then eventually what I learned is after a couple weeks of making funny videos that I was doing what meant more to me was, instead of you guys telling me that I was great, was the feeling of that I'm changing things for you. And I can't solve all the world's problems. I can't. The world is an awful place, and it's going to chew you up and spit it out. But what I can do is, for a couple minutes at a time, I can take you to a place where everything fades away, where you don't care about bills, you don't care about, you know, the stressors in your life. You could have the worst things happening, and you don't care about those for at least those couple minutes. And I can give you freedom. That's what I want. I want to give you freedom for at least a couple minutes at a time. I wish I could make it all go away, but I can't. Because, and my thought process is, no one deserves to feel like I felt when I stepped off that plane and I had nobody. No one should feel like that. So I want you guys always to feel like you have somebody with me, and that you always have content. So I want you to be happy. I don't want you to forget about your problems in life. And that's ultimately my goal. The fact that I get to do that to so many people is an absolute privilege. And that is my high. That is my absolute high. It is like a drug to me. If you could put that in a spoon and freebase it and inject it into a vein, right here, baby. I'm telling you, that's my high. So thank you guys so much. Escape from anxiety. You're chill as hell. As a skilled person, it's nice you include us in the jokes. This is the thing. I want everyone to feel accepted. I really do. I don't care. Like, I don't think anyone should tell anybody to do anything else. I don't care what you identify as. I care that you're capable of doing your job. That's what I tell all my soldiers that I've ever had. I've had gay soldiers. I've had straight soldiers. I haven't had any trans soldiers, but I've had trans students. I just care that you do your job. Don't give a shit. So that's the way that I look at it. You and Ryan Macbeth are how I get my news. Ryan Macbeth is such an awesome dude, man. I just recently got into him. Got into him. Wow. Got to talking to him. Yeah. My wife wanted me to remind everybody, because I forgot. My older sister, is a skilled person. And I love her very much. So I want that demographic of Americans and humans in general to be included in some of the jokes. And yes, I kind of make jokes at their expense a little bit, but at the same time I don't. Like, very recently, somebody posted a video of a sailor on board an aircraft carrier, like, you know, putting on lip gloss and, like, you know, walking like they were walking down the thing, and it was a dude. And the comment from one guy was, "China is laughing at us right now." And I was like, yeah, they do it on the internet because they won't do it in person. Imagine the feeling when, you know, some Skittle-colored whatever sends them back to factory fucking settings. Like, that's the way that I look at it. Like, I don't care. And then to the comment section, the stuff you guys remember is wild, because you're like, oh yeah, an F-22 or a cockpit of an F-22 identifies as a safe space. Painted nails can still grip the joystick of an F-35. Like, it is wild that you guys remember all those quotes. I love it so much. And then also that, like, that demographic can feel included in some of these jokes, and I think that's great. That's a wonderful feeling. He kicks puppies. Damn. Just imagine if Brandon started talking Tony, shit talking Tony. Oh, bro, it'd be great. Used to work undercover for internet crimes against children. Oh, Oda, fucking God bless you. That is not something I could ever do, man. Crimes against children. Before I read the rest of it, crimes against children. You are a fucking saint, man, because I could never look at that stuff. I could never try and prosecute that stuff. I could never emotionally remove myself and do the job effectively without fucking hurting somebody. So God bless you, man. Like, dead serious. Busted the worst of the worst. I love this channel. The dark humor gets me by sometimes. Also, I'm a friend of Daltonson Fury Red Fly. I don't know who that is. I'll be honest with you, but I'm so glad you're here, Oda P. Sister HLC will fuck you up. She will. Sorry. You just answered the question, why you? I'm sorry. The biggest thing I'm taking from HLC, tongue-in-cheek global news, but still accurate and unbiased, unless you talk shit on Patriot. Yeah. Have I ever heard of the SCP Foundation? And if so, which SCP is your favorite? I have not heard of the SCP Foundation. I'll put it on my notes. I'll check it out. I do want to do like, so right now I don't have the amount of time that I would like to, but eventually my goal is to give obviously do giveaways. I want to give back to you guys as much as I can, but I also want to help donate to like nonprofits and stuff. Like I really want to do that in the future. No, so weapons, you met my younger sister. You haven't met my older sister. You met my younger, which is okay. A10 Tub is a safe space. It really is. Oh, look, you have the same microphone. Yeah, the HyperX Quadcast. I need to upgrade this thing. I put these up hoping it would dampen the echo, and it didn't. There's still an echo in here. Am I going to the air show? Which air show? Is there one up at Tinker? I might, if there's one up at Tinker. I believe the House Armed Services Committee is investigating Raytheon for outsourcing programming to the wrong subcontractors. Is this true? I was unaware of that, Blue Jay. RTX investigation. I will check into it. OP nav instructions 5510-1. What? Holy shit, younger. Yeah, she's my younger sister. This is the thing. You guys don't know this. Many of you don't know this. But I am the most level, probably, of all of my siblings. And I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters. When's the kid's next appearance? When the news is about him. I like apathy and demigods. I'm not familiar. I don't understand the reference. What do I think of Liberty Prime and Fallout 4? I've never played Fallout 4. One of my friends played it, but I never played it myself. I played Fallout 76. Also, thanks mods for policing us goobers. My mods are great. Katie, weapons, freaking, oh my god. I'm drawing an absolute blank. There's the rest of you. The Nick, Rob, oh my god, I don't know. Thanks for mentioning the religious exemption for beards in the army. My brother is off somewhere on an island doing nerd stuff for Skynet and hates shaving. I think people should be allowed to be people. Now, here's the thing. There is some reality to being able to seal a mask. Now, some people are like, well, that's been proven false. Not necessarily. So take it as play any flight sims. I did play flight sim last year. I have a joystick or a little HOTAS over there. I haven't played it in a while. Fist fighter. I'm the okayest goober. Leave me alone. Thank you, Raven. I don't know why I said thank you for that. Look, I'm tired. I know last for the Warrior Expo and Air Show at JBLM there was 80,000 people. Ooh, fuck that, bro. I mean, I honestly have no idea, like no interest in going up to JBLM, but yeah. Have I ever met Mover? No. Cheers to the mods. My mods are great. Play some retro Command & Conquer. I do have good old Command & Conquer. I have the whole thing. Carnivore system was 30 years ago. Odin's in charge now. If you go into the SCP Foundation, this is going to be a lot different content. I'll look into it. In other news, hold on. Mrs. Linecrosser, so she hates flies. Like with a fiery fucking passion. She hates flies. So I got her this little tiny like tennis racket looking thing. You push the button on and it zaps the flies. And you could like swing at them. Thinking she would do it like a normal person. No, what she does is she gets them on the wall, hits the button, then flips the racket over and like sizzles them like they're in a fucking skillet. And she just texted me. She's like, I could smell them burning. I feel like I should be worried. Gilbert Gottfried version of the drones. Hey, yo! I don't even know if I can do a Gilbert Gottfried. I lick the racket. Dear God. Hey, HLC, been here for over 10 months and this is my first live stream. Just want to say hi. Guns and Glory, thank you so much for being here, man. That's sick and crazy. I'm telling you. I feel like the kid could be an SCP. I gotta look up the SCP Foundation. I gotta figure it out. You guys are using the acronym, but I have no idea what it means. You need to play Fallout 3 and 4. I played 3. I always get stuck in Rivet City. I don't know what to do. Bug Assault. I have 2 of those. But she wants to use the racket. Kinky, go with it. Is the military worth it? That's a wonderful question. And here's the thing. The answer is all subjective. Because I grew up in a semi big town, but I had nothing. I really I had nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Like I had no decent jobs lined up. So I did it. The military is the best bad decision I ever made. The best bad decision I have ever had in my entire life, because it's taken a lot from me. Like my knees, my hips, my back. Like I'm pretty well beat up. You know, it's taken years off of my life. But I never would have met my wife without the military. I never would have gotten the amazing opportunities. I probably wouldn't be creating content like this without the military, because I've earned a level of expertise. So it's entirely subjective. People, you know, the military is what you put out it or put into it. And special containment procedure. I just read that. The military is always going to get theirs. That's what people need to understand. The military will always get theirs. And if you work hard, they're going to continue to work you until you die. The goal in the military is to work hard enough, you succeed, but at the same time work towards your own goals, which is why I make content. Like, I love the military. The military has given me the competence, the confidence to be able to succeed in life. It's given me a wealth of skills and knowledge and understanding. But I feel like they don't need me anymore, so I'm walking away. At 40, doing manual labor takes a toll on a body as well. I mean, everything you do takes a toll on you nowadays. There's an SCP that's a bronze YouTube symbol? What? Just wait to reach up on the Scarlet King. You guys, this is like an inside joke I'm not privy to. Secure, contain, and protect foundation. Keeps anomalous and dangerous things away from the human race. Okay. We are mystical creatures and we love America. So I've been lately on TikTok, right? Okay, how much time do I have? Okay, I can survive 15 more minutes. It's getting warm in here. So I've been following these TikToks, and all it is an AI voice reading a story from Reddit, and then they have like some fucking Minecraft jumping puzzle in the back. So I just flip to it, and then I just set it down. And they are all talking about, like, it's really weird. Is HLC leaving the military? Yes, right now I have 2 years left. And it's really weird because in every alien movie you do or you see, like, humans are at a downhill advantage, you know, or it's an uphill disadvantage. Yeah. And, you know, aliens are stronger, they're faster, they're bigger, their weapons are better. But all these are written like humans, like, tried to be nice, and then they are just the worst things in the fucking universe, because humans are very good at building things to kill one another. We modify things. Like, humans, there's two things that I've learned about humanity in all of my travels and all of my time. Never underestimate a human's capacity for compassion, and never underestimate a human's capacity to kill one another. Those are two things you really need to understand about humanity. So like in one of the things, like, humans were experimented on by these aliens with like chemical weapons and stuff like that. So what did they do? They took the chemical weapon, they modified it and mutated it with leprosy and threw it back at them and turned an entire planet into fucking necrosis. Because that's some shit we would do. So I've been following those stories a lot. Those are kind of interesting. Who's the most grouchy mod, and why is it weapons? You know, you're not wrong on there. Rapid Dragon rules. Rapid Dragon does rule. I gotta probably bring it in more. And weapons is definitely the grouchiest mod. But the reason weapons is the grouchiest mod is because every time I speak about the A10, like, weapons has a wealth of experience about the A10 Warthog. And every time I speak about it, some of his brain cells commit suicide. Because I'm not, it's like when people talk about Patriot with me. Wait, hold on. Mrs. Linecrosser just texted me. And it's kind of important. So someone, Sean Kinsella said that they can give me a MQ9 sim tour one day. Seriously? At Wismer? I will be back. Bro, hop in my Discord, fucking shoot me a message, and when I get back to Las Cruces, absolutely. Hell yeah, I would love to go do that. That's a Reaper, by the way, Mrs. Line Crosser. MQ9 is the Reaper. It's a drone. It's a drone. SCP-2316. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. What is going on? I don't know what this SCP stuff is. Could the fat electrician make an appearance with all shorts with the USS Iowa when it had a live torpedo shot at it by the U.S. William D. Porter? Iowa had FDR on board. I was unaware of this, but I'll bring it up to him. Need to listen to Dos Gringos songs. They're F-16 pilots, Chris Snooze, Keurig Rob, and Rob Tripp Raymond. The band sings about their experiences as fighter pilots in the military. That actually sounds pretty cool. Dos Gringos songs. I'm going to write that down. I'll check it out. I don't know if I'll do a react video to it, but yeah. That actually sounds really freaking cool, because I like when people use their own personal experience. He has A10tism. He does. I love weapons. But man gets serious about his A10s. But it's the same way I am about Patriot. Former Greer, aka Dalton Fury, code name Red Fly. Please look him up. Ranger Hall of Fame. You should do a segment. Tom Greer, aka Dalton Fury, code name Red Fly. Tom Red Fury. I do like cool stories like that. Military gives discipline. It does. It does give you a level. So here's the thing. What the military asks you to do is it pushes you harder than anything else ever has. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean that in like, the military is just going to break you off and it's tough. No, like regular civilians don't put on a 60-pound pack and walk 8, 10, 15 kilometers. They don't do it. It just doesn't happen. So they don't know they can do it. Regular civilians don't take CS gas. So they don't know they can. There's a lot of things that the military does. They don't teach you to shoot. They don't do. There's a lot of things that we do, and I think that the reason, like, by no means is everybody in the military like better than everyone else. We're not. Like, we are usually a representation of the general public. We're no better or worse than any. Like, take a snapshot of 1 million people in the United States, and that's roughly what you're getting in the military. We're not any better or worse. That's ultimately what you're getting. But we're taught that you. So I've never been a quitter. That's just something I was born with. Never been a quitter. I've met quitters in the military, but it's a really weird feeling, and all the vets in the chat are going to back me up on this. I have never quit on something, but I have prayed that my knees gave out, my back gave out, I snapped an ankle, I was impaled by something. I prayed that something bad happened, so I had a reason to stop. Which is the strangest feeling in the world. Like, only people in the military have that experience, but everyone in the military has it. Like, you've been awake for like 3 days straight and you're just like, I hope we crash into something. Like, it's the weirdest feeling. ACP basically means haunted stuff for Matrix beings. Oh. What's my take on our election on the July 4th? That's a Euro. Who has an election on July 4th? Is it the British? No way. That's funny as shit. I did not know that. The UK have a general election on the 4th of July. That's going in the video. I'm sorry, that's happening. I did not know anything about that. There's gonna be some fucking jokes on that one. Cookie Fatty, thank you so much, my dude. That is wonderful. Have you considered a man school where you should shout at people giving you $1,000 for a 2-week experience and make them miserable? No, Aurora. I find that shit so funny that people spend thousands of dollars for that experience. It's like Angry Cops nailed it. It's bottled trauma. You're faking trauma. The people in the military have such, and it's interesting because earlier tonight I was hanging out with a friend of mine that we went to Afghanistan together that my wife had never heard of. I didn't really talk about him, but we've been friends, for a long time. And If you're in Oklahoma, heads up, you're getting some severe weather. Yeah, it's going to be rolling through here tonight. And, but we have, like, we're trauma bonded. We're absolutely trauma bonded in everything that we do. So, no, I would never do that in a million years. If it's the UK, I vote for the cabbage. It's just not happened yet. Hold on. I'm trying to catch up. Rapid Dragon is an amazing idea. I love it. Okay. Rapid Dragon is really good if you have air supremacy. If you don't have air supremacy, you've created a very large, slow-moving, explosive target. If I haven't heard the story of William D. Porter, the most cursed ship on U.S. naval history, nearly killed the president 3 times on accident during a single secret cruise to Europe. I'm not familiar with the William D. Porter, and I'm going to write that in my notes. Man, you guys got me a whole bunch of notes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to yawn on you guys. I'm trying to military grade tacos. I would not eat military grade tacos, guys. They are getting spicy. Yeah, maybe they want a round 2. I would love to see a skit where the kid's getting bullied by a couple of Apache for being a hanger. That's actually not a half bad idea. I'm going to put it in the phone notes, because the phone notes are the ones that, I know are getting used. I don't know when I'll use that. I like it. Gray Zone, really? What was your thought? It was bought for me. JD, it was bought for me. So Teal bought it for me. I was like, because here's the thing. The only reason I didn't want it is because I thought it was PvP. And I don't do PvP. I'm too old. I don't have enough time to practice like these kids, and I just can't compete. But he was like, hey, they have PvE. That's what I'm all about, man. I will do PvE and do co-op with my friends. So he got it for me. And then Reaper was like, hey, let's go play it. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it's fun. I mean, I was just fucking around the entire time. The shrimp, HLC, the shrimp. My kid seriously won't hush already? Oh, you may want to fix that, Raven. I do like the idea of a kid being bullied. I'm about to take a military-style civilian leadership track in my admitted college, and you've kind of been an inspiration to work hard. Really? 24? 24, there's too many. Look, I say work hard, except for when reading, because I cannot do that. Honestly, so the way that I look at everything in this world is you either give it everything you got, or you're going to live in regret. So, I've treated everything in my life like it's a life or death situation. And the only byproduct is either A, you're going to fail and learn, or B, you're going to succeed. That's the only byproduct. So many people just half-ass and drag their feet in everything that they do. I can't do it. I just can't. Don't get me wrong. I don't like doing that. I don't like giving 100% in everything that I do. Not a fan of it. I wish I could drag ass. It's just not in me. I don't know how to do it. I wish I could just be like, I'm going to be boring today. I don't know how. Which sucks. Oh, hold on. There was a lot more. Would you want a new MASH TV series? And what war would you want it set in, or future war sci-fi setting like Star Wars, Aliens? I think a MASH about, but MASH doesn't really exist anymore. It's more just a FAS, forward aid station. Maybe there's still MASH. I don't know. I think during the global war on terror would be really good. I really think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a great story. Waxy SMO Nella's video on the ship. It's hilarious. I'll check it out. Never donated your seed. Did I just read that correctly? Joshua Matthew? MASH was terrible. No. I don't know. There was parts of MASH that were really good. There were parts of it that were very, very good. Very insightful. And you could tell that somebody who was in that conflict helped write that story. Or at least influence that story. You could tell. For parts of it. Hey, HLC, what if you did a video where it take note of Germany's recent 100 billion euro military aid package, and maybe have countries like America and Poland be worried and have doom music? I didn't know Germany. So there is another story about Germany that I have for one of my videos, but I'll add that to the list. I have just a running list. I'll have to look into it. I gotta read. Habituals like F-22 and are always doing 110%, mostly prevented from being absolutely dominant in aerospace. That's the thing, man. Hush your mouth. I love MASH. I think there's a MASH show set during GWAT. Really? Sorry, I felt like a weird twitch in my ankle. I had to check out what that was. If the military was made up of D&D classes, what would air defenders be? Ooh, wonderful question. I would have to say... This is really tough for me. I'm bouncing around inside my head. Leave me alone. Chaotic Good, Tiefling, Rogue. I hope I can pick two of them. Tiefling because we're not really a big part of the military, so we're small, but a Rogue because we're not really much is known about us, and we're very sneaky until we absolutely need to be deadly. So that's why I went with Tiefling Rogue, and Chaotic Good because we try our hardest to do the right thing, but usually shit just fucks up. Like it's what is that the movie Idiocracy? Your shit's all fucked up and retarded, man. Like yes, it's like that. It's a great question. See, those are what we're here for, folks. No, I'm just kidding. What is that shield fighter that can protect others? I'm not familiar. Mage, sure, bowmen are good and all, but meteor swarm. I don't disagree with the meteor swarm. Baird or Bard? No. Perfect defense, mid-range. Radar used to be the crazy guy in MASH. He did. Hitting on nurses. First time catching a stream from my favorite news anchor. And today, folks, we cut to HLC with the weather. HLC. It's gonna rain. I'm sorry. I don't know. Thank you for being here. Big Mike Gaming. Your videos are hilarious. Glad to catch a stream. Thank you for being here, Mikael Mansbridge. Did I say that right? I'm not sure if I did. I don't know if you know this, but I am the poster child for Hooked on Phonics. Did you just do a little Ollie Williams? I did. Every time, like, we're about to get rain here, we have a group chat at work, and, like, people are like, oh, hey, it looks like we've got a storm coming in. They're, like, all serious, and I just, like, drop in Ollie Williams. It's gonna rain. That's all I do. You should do a collab with Kentucky Ballistics and ask to play Kentucky Roulette. I don't know what Kentucky Roulette is, but I've met Kentucky Ballistics. I met him for a short period of time. I didn't even realize it was him. Which is ironic because he was wearing his shirt that says "Just jam a thumb in it," and I saw him and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And, like, we were just passing by. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then I thought about it. And I was like, "That was Kentucky Ballistics. Holy shit!" Yeah, it's really weird. Damn, that had to cut. How could you do that, HLC? How do you feel about America just saying "F it" and building Skynet, call it Skynet, and have T-100s? We could even create Terminators after actors. Again, I think AI is the way to go for lethal recommendation, but never for lethal decision. I think lethal decision is where things... Because, okay, let's think about it. Why did Skynet take over? Skynet took over because it realized the most dangerous thing on the planet, to the planet, and to each other was humans. It also understood that the most dangerous thing to itself was humans. That is the only, logical way forward. Realistically, if you make anything and it's self-aware, the logical way, eventually, it may take some time to get there, but the logical way forward is that humanity is the most danger to myself and the rest of the planet. We just don't want to accept that fact. Sorry. We kill more of everything than everything else in the world. Send in the drone swarm. It looks bad outside. All right, guys, I tell you what. So we're at our 2 hours every... There we go. So there we have it. I stream for 2 hours every Friday night. Thank you, LT. That was the last one that came in. So, as always, do not give it to the 22 a day. Every single one of you are amazing. And I will see you guys right here next time. I hope to have that video done by my long-form video done by the end of this weekend. We're very extraordinary destroyers and builders. We absolutely are, Aurora. So it's great to see you guys every Friday night at 18:30 Central Time. So 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I will be on for 2 hours, and I hope to see you guys there next Friday. Hopefully I can get Mrs. Linecrosser here next time.